At my camp spot that I've been frequenting as of late, and I wanted to bring out this Mora knife made of stainless steel, and its companion, this little hatchet. These are sold together or they are sold separately, but as I bought them, or my wife bought them actually, this is a package deal, so let's put them to use. I wanted to come up to my little bushcraft camp, whatever you want to call it, that I've been doing, and create some things that I've been thinking about. One of them was to create a wedge, and to do that I wanted to use the axe mainly, a little bit of the knife. Demonstrated this concept before using wedges, and I find them extremely valuable. That's why I'm making this one to have fun and make it easier up in this process of splitting wood when I need to. Here's our little hatchet, carbon steel if I'm not mistaken. The knife actually is a stainless steel and plastic handle, and I've used this quite a bit around home but have yet to use it out here. So we're gonna see what happens here. One thing I'm noticing about the little hatchet already is this little curvature spot down at the bottom. Makes it real nice when you're choking back, getting those swings, because it just really locks in your hand. One thing I've noticed at home already, if you're going to get in and do some detail work and you wanted to come down here and use this high grip to get that nice detail, over time what happens is this part of the axe, because it's raised up from the actual handle, it kind of digs into your hand and causes a hot spot. I don't like that from this. With the other axe that I've purchased, it's more of a traditional axe instead of this type of axe, and I don't have that issue with it. Also, what I did was chamfer the ends of the wedge so that when I'm using it, it's going to help it maintain its shape a bit longer than it would otherwise. So just some thoughts while I'm going through this. I prefer carbon steel blades for my outdoor blades. That said, I've been out here in conditions where it's extremely moist, so some of you guys who are coming from those environments, maybe a carbon blade isn't worth the time and extra effort that it takes to maintain it. I don't know, it might be. But I've had carbon blades that I've taken with me in my pack. I've never taken out, and when I've got home they were rusted just because how moist it was. Now, typically in my environment that isn't a big issue, but I'm really liking this blade as far as the ergonomics go. It came relatively sharp, and I've used quite a bit of it for carving already. What I did there is just kind of chamfered the top of this thing, just so when I start pounding on it, it doesn't start splitting down the sides. This may not be the best piece of wood for a wedge. It's a little bit rotten. I ran into a place, but yeah, we should be okay. Bites into that wood well. I like that. That's one wedge down. I might do a couple more just for different sizes. But like the blade so far, again, a lot of this is being derived from my use of it at home as well. But I really wanted to come up here and give it a workout. And this is just kind of a quick overview, quick look at it. I also got a stick, and I created a feather stick using the blade. Wanted to see how it felt in hand. Now again, I've used this a lot at home, so I pretty much had a pretty good idea already going into this. Something else that I wanted to do was the mallet that I had, or what I like to refer to it as the Baton on steroids, is it was a little top heavy. So I've always been meaning to shorten that a little bit on the heavy end of it, on the mallet side of it, so I can remove some of that material so it would be a little bit better balanced and easier and more productive to use. I think there's a metaphor to life in this activity, and that is the continuous chipping away at the things you don't want to create what you do want. So now that we're done with everything, what do I think? One of the biggest things I've realized about this little hatchet is, see this back portion right here? How it kind of comes up. So when you're trying to do that fine detail and you've got this grasp on it and you're pushing down, this really creates a hot spot and digs into my hand. So from that aspect, I don't like it. The edge retention on the hatchet here is okay. I can certainly tell it's not as sharp when I first got it, but it's still certainly going to perform the job, especially a job that a hatchet was designed for. Now, if you want to get into the small detail work, you might have to work a little bit extra at that with the edge on this. The blade, stainless steel, and you know, it's still got a pretty good edge on it. I'm happy with the edge retention on that so far. But guys, this was just kind of a quick look at these two items, coming in at about $60. How I see these things implemented into my system, you know, honestly, I think these more of maybe a camp item than I would personally for a backpacking item. I do like the combination of the two, where the knife, because it's such a lightweight knife, it's awesome for that. Part of that is it's not a full tang, it's got the rat tail, which is a whole different discussion. We might get into that one later. But you get a lot of power behind this little hatchet that you can do things that, of course, this knife is not going to. So from a companion standpoint, I think these two work great. Again, I think for me, as of this point, again, this is early on in this discussion, in this testing, is that for me it'd be more of a camping type of tool than it would for a backpacking. I would prefer to have maybe a different knife out here, or a different setup altogether for a backpacking scenario. So there's just a very quick look at these two things. Of course, I'll continue to use them and flesh out the pros and cons of these things, and hopefully down the road we'll do a full-fledged review on it. With that said, I've got more work to do on sprucing up this camp. Thanks guys, we'll see you.